Hey there, Chadi Bazzi here, and welcome to another episode of the Top Listing Agent Show. Today we have a gentleman that is going to just blow you out the water with his story, and he's going to share a lot of valuable nuggets to help you take your business to the next level. And that gentleman is Chastin Miles. Chastin, welcome to the Top Listing Agent Show, my brother.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Awesome, brother. Chastin, let's begin by you giving us an introduction about who you are, where have you been, where you're at right now, kind of thing, your journey into, becoming the top person that you are right now, helping out agents all over the country.
Whew. Yeah, well, my journey has definitely been quite a journey. I actually started going down the path of becoming a real estate agent back when I was in college, which was over 10 years ago. I'm 32 now. And so back in my early 20s, me and my buddies, we were walking around campus one day and we saw a sign that was advertising off-campus houses. Now we needed to move off campus. I mean, we were like one more strike away from getting put off anyway from all the parties and stuff that we were doing. And so we were looking for somewhere to move off campus. Ended up calling the number on that sign, and this lady said, "Hey, come to my office. I'm going to show you what we have available." So we hopped in the car. We went down the street. The office was conveniently located down the street, and it turned out to be a real estate office. So got in there. She started showing us properties, and she was showing us all the properties on paper, but whatever. She was showing us these properties, and then she said, "Hey, you want to go take a look at them?" We said, "Yeah." So we hopped in the car. She showed us a couple of properties. We found one that we liked. And so we went back to the office and she was saying that we could start all the paperwork. Now, at no point during this journey had anybody discussed like how much this is going to cost and prices and everything like that. And so she told us the rent price. And I said, "Oh, yeah, we can definitely do that. Splitting it 4 ways. Yeah, we got that." But I was like, okay, this lady invited us to her office, got us in the car, drove us around, showed us these properties. This is going to be really expensive to pay her. So I just flat out asked her, I was like, "How much is it going to cost us, to actually do this?" And she was like, "Just the monthly rental price." And I said, No. How much is it going to cost us for your services?" And then she said, "My services are free. I'm going to get paid by the other side." And I said, "What?" It sounded a little fishy to me because I never heard anything like that. So then she explained how it kind of worked. And then this lady, no offense to anybody, but this lady was an older 60-something-year-old lady who posted a sign on a college campus, and here we were and was about to get money, and so light bulb went off. I was like, I could do this all day and night. Like, I'm actually on campus. A lot of people know me and I have friends there. I have everybody living off campus before you know it. So that real estate brokerage actually turned out to have a school there. This was back in Georgia. So they actually had a school there that you could take real estate classes. So that next week I went back, I talked to them about the real estate classes. They told me how much they were going to cost. And of course, I couldn't afford that because I was a broke college kid. So I ended up talking them into letting me get on a payment plan. So they put me on a payment plan. I showed up for the first month. I mean, I was acing it. Like this stuff came easy to me. But then that second payment was due and I didn't have any money. And so I had to drop out of that real estate school. And I literally remember as I was walking out the door, the owner was sitting on a bench smoking his long cigarette. Like, again, this was in Georgia. It was kind of the country where this was. He was smoking his cigarette. And I said, "I'll be back." And he literally said to me, "I hear that all the time. You're not coming back." And I told him, I said, "Watch me. I'm going to come back." Well, I didn't go back. And it was 2 years had passed and a move to Texas before I got back in real estate school, got my license, passed the state test on the first try, and now we're here today. My original plan was just to be a realtor for 1 year. I'm 8.5 years in it now, and still here.
Man, oh man, it's like they say that things happen by I mean, it's no accident. I mean, it
No.
sounds to me like that's just what you were destined to be doing. I mean, you're just going to rent the property, and then it's like, no, this looks too easy. She just made money doing absolutely nothing. I'm gonna freaking damn do this. You go to school, can't make the second payment. 2 years go by, completely new state. You get your license, and here we are. Congratulations, congratulations.
Thank you.
So what was your first year like? I mean, I'm assuming, you're not from Texas, or were you originally from Texas?
Well, I was originally from Texas, but I wasn't from Dallas. I was from Houston, which is about 4 hours away. And so to answer your question, my first year was horrible. It was nothing like I expected it to be. Me coming into the business, like my only knowledge of real estate was that sign on the post, showing up to that office. I thought the whole career was that easy. Little did I know it was based off of relationships. It was based off of knowledge, skills, and simply knowing the area that you're trying to work in, and
Brand new area, brand new everything.
yeah, so I didn't even know the streets, but I knew that I wanted to do it. I got my license and I had paid all this money to get my license, and I was in it now. And I was literally that agent that was doing anything and everything to try to make a dollar. I mean, someone told me to do something, I would try it out. I would try it out. And I kept hearing about cold calling, cold calling, cold calling. So I ended up trying out cold calling, even though I was not a professional, didn't know how to do it. I was the worst phone person ever. Keep in mind, I'm only like 24 at this time.
Yeah.
So hopped on the phone, and during one of my first cold calling sessions, ended up getting a listing appointment for an investor. And he gave it to me because he said that I actually do what I say that I'm going to do, because he asked me to do some things and I did it for him. But ended up getting that listing, and that listing was so hard to sell. It was so hard to sell. And I was doing anything and everything to get that listing sold, even down to the point where I am hosting an open house every single weekend, Saturday and Sunday, for 4 hours each day. And I had did that for months. And I'll never forget this one time. I was getting ready to go out to do another open house, and I put my oversized suit on and I'm about to walk out the door, and my electricity turned off. Right. Another problem to add to my bucket of problems that I was facing at this time. My electricity turned off, but I had to do the open house. I knew I didn't have any money to get it turned back on. So it was just one of those things. I was just like, whatever, I'll deal with it later. And got to the open house, quarter tank of gas at that time. But I'm in this open house, right? And the first hour went by, nobody came in. The second hour went by, nobody came in. I had been holding this home open for months now, so pretty much anybody who wanted to see it probably already saw it already. By the time that third hour hit, I clearly remember looking around, right? It was a vacant property, looking around. I walked to the front door and I turned the lock on that front door, and I literally just dropped to my knees, full on bawling, having a breakdown at that moment. And it was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I spent all this money to get in this business. I moved across the country. I've been trying to make it, and nothing is working for me. My lights are off at home. I barely have any gas. Any food that I have is going to go bad. Why am I even doing this? And that was a big moment for me. And it was a moment where I was faced with two decisions. I could either throw in the towel and let it all go right now, or I could try to figure it out. I can keep pushing forward. I can keep pushing forward. At that time, though, in that moment, I couldn't see a way out. I couldn't see what I was going to do differently. I felt like I had tried and did just about everything. I couldn't see the way out, but I knew that I didn't want to give up. I knew that there was more in store for me. I didn't know what it looked like, how it was going to play out, but I knew I didn't give up. I didn't want to give up. Turns out that next week, I ended up getting a call from an agent who presented me with an offer. We took that offer to closing. She bullied me the whole time. She knew that I was brand new. I wasn't good at anything, but I got my check. And that was kind of a sign for me that, you know, no matter what happens, just keep moving, just keep pushing forward, just keep pushing forward, because right around the corner could be that breakthrough that you needed. And you're going to get tested like that all throughout this career. I know that now where I'm at right now, you're going to get tested all throughout this career, but that breakthrough is literally right around the corner, because that test is a test to see if you should even move to the next level, or if you're not that strong enough, or if you're that type that's going to throw in the towel. So that was my first year. I made like $9,000, 12 months. So
Less than
yeah.
$1,000 a month. You got tested, electricity goes off, food's going bad, and then boom. And that boom didn't just happen by itself. Chastin, you and I both know that, you've had a lot of conversations in your head. And I'm sure there were conversations of like, am I really cut out to do this? Is this really right for me? Should I give it, my all? Should I just give up and do something else? How did you battle those conversations? Like, was there anything specifically that you can think back on right now and say, this is the key? Like, this is the key to keep going when everything is just going against you.
I think that my pride had a lot to do with it. Because, especially in real estate, we get into business, and then what do we start doing? We start blasting it out. I'm a realtor. We get our headshots, our photos. We start posting houses and everything. And my pride would not let me tell the world now that here we are just a couple months later that I failed. I'm quitting. I'm done with it. I was also telling myself, like, Chastin, you've already come this far. I was able to recognize the wins that I actually had, because it's easy to look at that stuff and be like, well, you really haven't done anything yet. But I was looking at it in a sense of, hey, you went to real estate school 2 years ago, had to drop out. Now you moved to a whole different city, went to real estate school again, passed this hard test that I didn't think that I was going to pass. You got a listing. You're doing stuff, you're making it. Those are all wins, right? And I had to really recognize that, because I was linking it to just a simple check or just a closing, when it was really more than that. I was acquiring skills the whole time that I didn't even know that I was acquiring. Once I picked up that first listing from a cold call, oh man, I got a little cocky, and I was hitting those phones, but that was a win for me. And so I think it's very important to recognize, like, yeah, there may be things going wrong, and that self-talk in our head, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, lights are off. Yeah, you don't have this. Yeah, it all makes sense, and they're all facts. But we need to also recognize and tell ourselves, hey, what did I do well? What am I succeeding in? What did I learn? I've made it this far. This is only the beginning. It's gonna get easier. And that's something that I really did. And I had to rely on myself for it.
I love it. And I'm going to unpack that, because you're sharing a lot of gold nuggets here. And I'm sure there's someone out there that may be going through a similar experience, or just an experience of like, they're really questioning, like, am I really cut out, to make it in this industry? It's like, that's the wrong conversation. See, you said 4 things that I wrote down in your last, statement. One, in no order of importance, you said linking. What am I linking this experience to? Am I just linking it to just the next paycheck for survival, or am I linking this for the big picture that actually brought me into this industry? So that's number 1, is change your neural association. Okay. And you got to keep on thinking about that all day, every single day, because out of sight, out of mind, insight in mind. And I'm not talking about a visual picture that you're putting up in your office or anything like that. I'm talking about the visual picture that you embed in your mind, that you look at every single day. Why did I get in this business to begin with? That's number 1. Number 2, you got to recognize the wins. Chastin said, hey, I started recognizing the wins. Look, there are certain things that you're doing right every single day, but your mind is so freaking damn clouded with all the circumstances and all the things that get thrown at you, in this industry by other agents, buyers, sellers, lenders, appraisals, inspections, market, economy, this and that, and all that good stuff. And what you got to do is you got to start taking inventory of your wins. And what I'm going to recommend that everybody does is everybody's got a journal. Once you get another journal where every single day you just document those wins, and anytime you're feeling like crap, you just grab that freaking damn journal, you open it up and say, oh my goodness, over the last 30 days, I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 things that happened to me. And that's going to change the conversation that's taking place in your head, because Chastin is saying, I kept on telling myself, I kept on telling myself, and then he would say something positive in his mind. So self-talk is everything. And then in his self-talk, one of the things that he was doing is he was asking himself all the right questions. All the right questions. That is such valuable insights, Chastin. We appreciate that. And then what was your second year like? I'm curious. Like, we went from 9,000 to what? Like 9 million, 20 million?
Not that much, but
people in this industry, they think, that the Mercedes comes with the license. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So I just want to go through that little journey a little bit.
Sure. My second year was a lot better. It had that snowball effect that people talk about a lot. I figured out what I needed to do. I had experienced what I needed to do, and I just did more of it. I wasn't one of those agents that was always looking for this magic potion or something. I mean, I was hitting those phones every single day because that's what worked. No, I wasn't a professional, but something was working for me, and so that second year, I did probably 15 deals that second year. And then that third year was pretty similar. I mean, there was a little bit of increase. And then it got to a point where I had closed probably 60 deals total in my real estate career. And throughout my research, I would always read like these agents giving advice, and they're like, yeah, my business is off of referrals and referrals and referrals and referrals. And I realized that I had done all these transactions. I had become that transactional agent that was just looking for the next deal. But none of these people who I had worked with had ever sent me any type of business. And so that was another part of the business that I now had to learn, because I started thinking differently, as I got into production and as I was making money. I was like, okay, now I'm at a point where this has to turn into a business. Or I'm going to be doing this same thing 50 years down the road. So my path in the business changed at that point. I got real heavy into past clients, into referral generation, things like that. Hired an assistant and hired my first buyer's agent. And so we were out there rocking and rolling and doing a lot of business together. Lost my first assistant, lost my first buyer's agent. Fired my first buyer's agent, lost my first assistant. But, then it was kind of like me starting over. But I learned so much during that journey to where it was easy for me to pick back up because I had a business. Fast forward to today. I mean, I have a thriving real estate team. We do average over 100 transactions year over year. I've had the opportunity to speak all across the country, out of the country. I've written a book. I've been featured in, pretty big nationwide magazines. This has given me an opportunity to really share my story, share my message, and coach and encourage other agents to, make it happen. But it's been a process, and this definitely didn't happen overnight for me. Looking back to when I got in, I never would have imagined things would look like this today. But, it was just step by step, a continuous motion of actions and elevating where things needed to be elevating, not just becoming, complacent, or not just falling into just a routine and just sticking into it, but always looking for, okay, how can I grow this? How can I grow this? How can I grow this bigger and bigger, bigger? and making sure that you still remain that same person who you are, because that's important too. And yeah, I never forget my moments.
Yeah, and it all started with you trying to rent an off-campus property.
Yeah,
You're doing over
literally.
100 transactions a year. Talking about the 100 transaction mark, I think that is a number that's really in the mind of a lot of people. Like, a lot of people come to me and say, Chadi, I want to be a producer. And I don't know why they're stuck with that 100 transaction mark. But here's what I do know. I know that when people hear that number, they start paying attention to the person that's speaking about that number. So if you're watching this video, if you are listening to this podcast, I want you to pay very close attention, because right now, what I'm going to do is I am going to dive deep into some questions with Chastin. He doesn't even know what questions I'm going to ask, to get some specifics from him on what it is that you can do immediately in your business to start seeing some kind of traction and some kind of movement in the upward direction. Okay, and the first question outside of that is the question that's on the mind of every single person right now. And then it's like, is the market going to shift? Are we going to see a recession? Are we going to say this? My question to you, Chastin, is, do you even care what's going to happen with the market?
No, I don't necessarily care what's going to happen with the market. I mean, I pay attention to it. It's my job to know, to be able to have these types of conversations. But I'm running a business here, and my business is going to run whether the market moves up, down, left, right, whatever. Now, what's important, since I am running a businesses, and as business owners, we have to know how to shift. We have to know how to shift ourselves. And so I'm very aware of that. One thing that I'm super glad that I didn't do was just try to focus on one area of the business. I was so hungry for whatever I could get. I mean, I learned a lot about rentals, investment properties, residential, luxury, new construction. So it's like, I know all of that. Whenever a shift happens, and when it happens, there's still going to be real estate transactions being done. Okay. Always. People have to move, people have to buy, people have to sell. There's going to be real estate transactions done. But the real question is, how diversified are you to be able to sustain yourself in that type of shift? And so I'm very diversified in it. My team is as well, diverse in it. My team is as well. So we're not worried.
See, I love your answer. It's like, no, I really don't care if it's going to go sideways, upwards, downwards. It doesn't matter. I'm paying attention to what is happening, with the economy and all that good stuff. And I'll adapt and I'll shift and I'll make changes. But I think one of the things that you said is you're very diversified. And that's how you really market proof your business, is when you have multiple lead generation channels. Because if the market shifts in a specific way, maybe one or two of your lead generation channels is going to slow down, but you got the other four that will sustain your business. And then when the market shifts, two more right here will stop working, but the other two that stopped working will start working again. That's how you keep your business moving forward. So now, let's say there's someone that's watching this video right now, and they're just thinking to themselves, like, Chastin, man, I just want to do one. I don't want to do the 100 deals. I just want to do one extra deal a month. Just one extra deal a month. Well, what can I do differently? What should I be doing to just increase my production by just one deal a month? And in some marketplaces, that's a 6-figure raise. So what's your advice to that person that just wants that one extra deal every single month?
Talk to the people that you wouldn't think would do a deal with you. And I want to pinpoint that. We have so much money, so many deals in our personal networks, but we don't tap into them. We want to look for the new lead services. We want to look for the Facebook ads. We want to look for all of this and that, when nowadays most people are super connected through social media, not to mention all the contacts that you have in your phone. I know at any moment I can pull a deal out of my phone. Yeah. Even if it's me going out to a property and filming a video and sending it to some people that I think would like it, I can pull a deal out of my phone. And so really using the power of your network. There's this book that I always recommend people read. It's called The Power of Who. Okay, it's by Bob Boudin, I believe is his name. The Power of Who. And that book basically says, You already know everybody who you need to know to get anything done. Anything done. We're all connected in some kind of way. A connection that you have can probably end you up reaching the president. Okay,
Yep.
so don't discount who's in your phone book. Don't look at your first, third, second cousin and say, oh no, they're not going to do anything. Because even if they don't, they probably know somebody who does.
Yeah.
And so really, really, really dive deep into your existing network of people.
All right, so let's go a little bit deeper on this. I'm pulling out my phone right here, right now, and I'm going to go to my contacts. I don't know how many contacts I have, but I'm assuming every single person that's watching this video has got to have at least one. Oh, I got 373 contacts in my phone. Okay, so I'm sure everybody's got over 100 contacts in their phone. So there's got to be somebody in this phone right now. Maybe all 373 people don't want to buy. Maybe none of them want to sell. But there's got to be at least one person that knows one person that can buy or sell through me, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's what I want everyone to do. Pull out your phone, okay? In the comment section, wherever you're watching this, I want you to write down how many contacts you have, okay? And how long it's going to take you to call every single person. So I got 373 people in here. I can make 373 calls in a week, right? 50 a day. That's, 7 days. I'm done. What should the conversation be like?
It should be over their family. So I use this simple F.O.R.D script that I learned, F.O.R.D, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So you're checking in. How's your family doing? How's work going? Have y'all done anything fun? What do you have planned for the future? Naturally, they're gonna ask you those same things about you. Okay, they're gonna ask you those questions as well. You need to get off your high horse. Get off your high horse. Take that big shield off. You are looking for help. You are looking for help. Your business is not doing what you thought it was going to do. You need money coming in. Okay, these people are in your phone book. They just told you about their family, their job. There's a little trust factor there.
Yeah.
Okay, you need help. Who do they know? How can they help you? Ask people for help. That's one thing that I feel like sets me apart is I physically ask people for help. I'm not just marketing or soliciting business from people. I'm asking them for their help. And when you do that, people want to help you. They want to help you. They want to be on your side at that point. They want to be able to say, I helped him do that. I helped her do that. Okay. So get a little bit vulnerable. Okay. I'm not saying don't use that same referral script, that some of these books have in there. Just simply ask them for help, like you're asking a friend to help you with something.
Right. And you might not ask every single person for help because, what Chastin is saying is begin with the F.O.R.D model, F-O.R.D, talk to them, it's like all about the relationship. Hey, how's your family? How's work going on? What have you guys done? Anything special this summer now that we're able to go out and all this stuff? What are your goals, etc. And then you'd be able to get a feel of, the quality of the relationship. Is this a relationship that I want? Is this a relationship that I want to, nurture? In discovering, through the F.O.R.D model, can I be of service to these people? Can I contribute in some way? Can I be of more value to that person? And when you become more valuable to that person, they will value you more and they will send you business in spite of whether you ask for it or not. And like Chastin says, they always ask it. So how's work? It's funny that you ask.
Yeah.
Things are booming. I have more buyers than sellers. Who do you know that wants to sell a home right now? Etc. So I love that model. So that's one thing we want every single person. Chastin and Chadi are telling you right now, go through forget about your database for now. Just go through your phone. Okay, however many contacts you have, set a goal. Sometime over the course of the next 7 to 14 days, you're going to call every single person. I guarantee you, every single person will find at least one deal. Now, some people really don't have that many people in their thing and in their phone, and some people might be looking at it like, I don't remember who this Sam guy is. I'm not going to call him, etc. And what's the next source that they can go after? Like, you're a phone guy. You like to pick up the phone and make phone calls. Where else can they call? Who else should they be calling to generate that one extra deal every single month?
Yeah, so I actually leverage my Facebook friends as well. So I remember doing this.
Talk about that. That's like some of the genius stuff that we do that we don't talk about publicly that much, but we should. Yeah. So let's talk about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so I remember I did this for probably around 2 weeks. I personally sent everyone in doing this in 2 weeks is me saying it took me 2 weeks to get it done. But I personally sent every single friend that I was connected with a message, letting them know that I was in the real estate business and I was looking to help more people, asking them if they knew anybody, because we're connected by, I mean, through this whole friends thing on Facebook. And so I'm leveraging that as it should be used. You know, you're supposed to be my friend, but that worked out a lot
Did you
good
get
for
business
me.
from it? Did you get business from it?
I did. And you know, the way that these algorithms work nowadays, it worked out very well, because not only did it send me referrals, it also put my post on their radar again, so they can start seeing my stuff in their feed, because we opened up that communication. But these are things like, once you start them, don't just make it a one-time thing. You know, you got to keep doing it. So I try to do it once a month, where I'm cycling through my contacts. I have a few different lists. I have my VIP list, I have my past client list, I'm gonna have my referral partner list, and I'm cycling through this list every single month. So people hear from me at least once a month, in addition to the events that we do and the gifting and all that kind of stuff. They know that I'm out here, and no matter how big I get in this industry, I still have my systems in place to where my clients and past clients and referral partners are being contacted and taken care of, because that's where the business comes from, and that's where I want it to come from. I feel like that's the highest quality source of lead, especially for me. It's worth my time a lot more than a random Facebook ad generated lead. Me
How do you think
personally.
about that, by the way? You know, especially now with the iOS updates and all the changes, do you run Facebook ads at all or no?
No, I don't. I do run Google ads,
Okay.
however.
You
Yeah.
get higher quality leads from Google. I know that for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
whole your Facebook algorithm and all the changes, like totally, you know, for some people quadrupled their lead costs. So something,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day.
I know. I know. Yeah. Social media. I mean, video these days is my jam. So, you know, I do a lot with video, and there's so many different ways to generate leads out there, but I always revert back to what I'm good at, you know, what I'm fine with doing.
Well,
What
you,
can
like,
you
you're not just waiting for things to happen. I mean, you're going out there and you're seeking the business. You're not waiting for the business to come to you. You're out there, you know, building relationships and staying in touch with people. Just because somebody hasn't said hi to you on Facebook in a year doesn't necessarily mean that you can't reach out and say hi to them first. And
yeah.
that's the way to go. And then if you're not going to reach out to the person and say hi to them and they're not communicating with you, why even be friends with them? Just delete them, make room for someone else. Chastin, do you call for sell by owners and or expireds?
Me personally, not currently. No.
Did you
I
use
did. I did it very, very, very heavily. My personal business is solely based off of referral these days. Now, however, my team still does. I mean, there's agents on my team that hit the phones every day, 2 hours. We have what's called power hour. Actually, outside of my office in our big pit area is a big clock up there, and we count down 2 hours on it, and that's power hour, where we're just hitting the phones. But there are some agents that focus on the for sale by owners and expireds, and then there are others who have been in the business for a little while, and they have databases now, and they have past clients, and so they're cycling through those people.
Yeah, and look, there's no wrong way or right way to do it. There's just a way that you choose to actually, you know, give it 100% and do it your way. We know a lot of people making a killing working for sell by owners and expireds, and then some people actually graduate that. Who wants to be on the phone, you know, all day, every single day for 50 years in the business? And you know, one of the things that Chastin did right is he, you know, a couple of years into the business, he recognized, hey, none of these people are sending me any referrals. And then he went and fixed that. And all of a sudden he's getting a lot more repeat referral business. Therefore, he graduated that and passed the torch on to his team members so they can duplicate the same exact process for them, making it a win-win for every single person. Chastin, you recommended the book. It's called something about the who. What was that book again?
The Power of Who.
Power of Who. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a recommendation that you just recommended based on the conversation that we were having. However, is there another book that you recommend that every single person read, no matter what, besides your book? Obviously, your book is.
I was literally just about to say my book.
So we'll give them two recommendations. One is a book that's not written by you, and you're like, everybody, if you're a real estate and you want to make money, you got to read this book, and then that will give them access to how they can get your book.
Yeah, I know this is kind of cliche, and everybody's probably heard this a lot, but I still recommend Millionaire Real Estate Agent to a lot of people, and the reason why I recommend that book is because that book taught me about the business side of things. We quickly get in. I mean, we get our license, become agents, and we focus on a lot of agency stuff. And you can get trapped in just being that solo real estate agent, or you can take some of these guides out there, and that's a really good one, and really build your real estate agency business into a true business, a team, a brokerage, whatever you want to do, like make it big. I'm a big believer in doing all we can in this present time. Like, I don't like waiting for anything. I want to go out there and make it happen. If there's things that I can do today to make a difference tomorrow, I'm gonna do it. I'm not waiting. And that book sparked a fire in me because it opened my eyes up to really the big picture in this business. Mind you, I literally just thought it was from signs that you post out there and people call you and you just show people houses. Little did I know, here today I'd be running an office, doing payroll, hiring employees, furniture, all that kind of stuff that I never would have even imagined had I not saw that was possible. Yeah. Had I not saw that was actually something that can be done in this business.
Yeah, and now Chasing, somebody's thinking to themselves, all right, man, so where do I get this guy's book? Where is the book? How do I get the book?
Sure, you can get the book on my personal website, chastinjmiles.com, or Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all of those places.
Awesome. And we will go ahead and put the links in the show description at tlashow.com or chadibazzi.tv, whichever one you go to. We'll make sure we put the links there for you so you can get the book and get access to all that good stuff. It's called, what's it called? What's the name of the book?
The Real Before the Estate. What I wish I knew before I started real estate.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And Chastin, is there a question that you feel like I should have asked you today that I did not ask you that I should ask you right now?
The question. I don't necessarily know the question, but I have an answer. No, I do have a piece of advice that I want to make sure that everybody just has, like, just put this in your back pocket. And that is really utilize what you have at your disposal right now. And I had to learn this for myself, because some of that self-talk can start to get in your mind, and it's like, oh, well, I don't have a team, or, oh, I don't have a YouTube channel, or, oh, I don't have this and that. I didn't have past clients at one time. I didn't have referrals at one time. And so I had to use what I had available to me at that time. That was my Facebook profile. That was databases of for sale by owners and expired. Yeah, I don't do that much today, but I did it. And I had to do it because that was all I had. Remember, you all, I was brand new to an area. I didn't have any friends. I was kind of a kid in most people's eyes with no real estate history or background. It was a blank slate for me. And so I literally had to just use what I could because I couldn't just go out there and buy billboards and things like that. And so before you get too prideful and say, oh, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do that, know that that's the stuff that works. Yeah, cold calling is scary, but it works. Door knocking is scary, but it works. Open houses can seem like a waste of time, but they work. So do what you can right now until you're able to have that business where your phone just rings off the hook, or you can just go out and have lunches all day with people and you get business. It's not overnight, but it can come.
Love it. Love it. And besides your book, how can people get a hold of you if they wanted to get a hold of you? Just your website or?
Yeah, my website is the best place, chastinjmiles.com. There's links to all of my social media networks and mailing lists, and I have resources on there that you can download to help you out in your business. So it's all there.
I love it. I love it. Chastin, thank you very much for the wealth of knowledge that you shared with our audience today. To our audience, make sure that you connect with Chastin, check out his free downloads, get the book, and connect with him online, and just send him, whether it's in the comments or privately, just send him a thank you message for giving us his time and his knowledge today. I so appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.